Now joined by New South Wales One Nation leader Mark Latham and my fellow Outsiders host Rowan Dean. Gentlemen, let's get into it. We've got so much to discuss. Start off with ICAC and what it means for Gladys Berejiklian, what we've seen today. Rowan, can she survive this scandal?
Well, Rita, there's two separate things. I think there's wanting her to survive and whether she will survive. And certainly from what we've seen, most people would like her to survive. She's done a great job, far better, I don't need to tell you, down in Melbourne. She's done a far better job of managing COVID-19 than anyone else in the country. And she, I think most New South Welsh men and women would be begging for her to stay and to survive. But wanting her to survive is not necessarily the same thing as will she survive. And I'm afraid the reality is that, like so many of these things, and we can discuss the rights and wrongs of ICAC, and there are clearly problems with ICAC doing this public shaming and this kind of marching through the street with your head in the stocks and a sign around you saying, I shagged the wrong bloke, or whatever they would like her to do. But the reality is that she's either incredibly naive or she did break her own code of standards and perhaps other things, and I suspect she will go.
Okay, so you're saying now you think she might go. Mark, you've pledged to essentially block legislation while she remains leader. Is that a position that's sustainable if she enjoys the Prime Minister's backing, she enjoys her colleagues' backing? Where does One Nation stand in all this?
Well, Rita, it's absolutely laughable and absurd. We're even still talking about Gladys Berejiklian being in the Premier's office. She's got a dozen serious breaches that require her to go, and probably another dozen matters worthy of investigation, mainly for the reason, like Gladys says, oh, you know me, I work hard for the people of New South Wales. Who does really know her? After the level of deception in keeping this relationship with her property developer boyfriend secret for 6 years, every day for 2,000 days, leading a lie, a double life, at the expense of the people of New South Wales, because this partner of hers was into everything but a bath. The level of financial chicanery of this fellow just beggars belief. From $20,000 in money bags dragged into Parliament House, using his Parliament House office as a lobbying firm, taking a fee for an access meeting to the Premier, Chinese money, multiple real estate deals in Western Sydney, trying to set up a casino in Samoa, not doing any work in his own electorate. It just goes on and on and on.
You're in danger, Mark. You're in danger.
Rita, Gladys Berejiklian has lost touch with reality. This is the worst set of scandals since the Askin era, and it's laughable that anyone could defend her for a nanosecond.
Well, I tell you, one person who is defending her, as well as the Prime Minister, is Bronwyn Bishop. Now, she had this to say last night.
So what?
Well, you're going to be next in the firing line. She called Andrew Bolt a former socialist, and I reckon she's going to have a serve for you next time on Paul Murray. I want to see
put her back in a helicopter. Talking of misuse of government assets. Put her back in the helicopter and fly her off somewhere.
Okay. No, we need to put you two together. That needs to happen on this station. Look, I'm going to go to the next issue, the US election. We were supposed to have today the second presidential debate, which was going to be moderated by Steve Scully. That never happened. And in fact, Steve Scully, who pretended he was hacked, finally fessed up to the truth and has been suspended by his network. C-SPAN have told him to take a bit of a break. The president was pretty happy about that. He was tweeting about that. So today, Rowan, they had the town halls. Both Biden and Trump had a town hall. And I've got to say, there was some pretty interesting things said. Trump talked about everything from COVID to company tax and even immigration. Let's have a quick look.
But we have a very strong border right now, and we have to keep it that way. But we want people to come into our country, but they have to come in through a merit system, and they have to come in legally. And people are very, very happy with it. You haven't heard any complaints about that.
What do you think? It got pretty fiery there with the moderator who was arguing with Trump fairly consistently. Do you think that sort of a setting helps him, or is he better off in a debate head-to-head with Biden?
Well, he's always debating the media or the Democrats. It's pretty much the same thing. Doesn't matter who he's debating. He's defending his record, and he's got a great record to defend. And they're trying to catch him out with these silly games. Part of the clip that you didn't show earlier on was when the moderator, so-called moderator, was trying to pin him down on QAnon or Quanon or whatever it's called, this bizarre group with to do with pedophiles and Democrats and so on. He refused to play the game that she was trying to trap. She was trying to set for him. He came out repeatedly and said, I denounce white supremacists. I've denounced them so often, I'll denounce it again and again. He was terrific. But it's always the same story with Trump. They don't listen to what he's saying. They don't listen to the accurate and as you said, on immigration and other points, the valid points he makes. But the American people do listen. So it doesn't really matter if he's talking to a fake moderator by himself or a fake moderator with Joe Biden wandering around next to him. He is talking directly to the American people. Virtually everything that he says is worth listening and is resonating with them, and that is why he will win on November 4th.